Overcoming bad inner voices. We don't often think about it and may never discuss it with others at all, but pretty much everyone has voices in their heads, a murmuring stream of thoughts that run along inside our minds most of the time. Sometimes the inner voice is encouraging, calling for you to run those final few yards. You're nearly there, keep going. Or urging you to calm down because you know it will all be okay in the end. But sometimes the inner voice is simply not very nice at all. It is defeatist and punitive, panic-ridden and humiliating. It doesn't represent anything like our best insights or most mature capacities. It's not the voice of our better nature.
Hello, welcome to Talk to Me Tuesday podcast, where we talk about mental health issues, parenthood, generational cycles, trending topics, and occasionally live interviews. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching with me today. And I hope that you guys are going to be excited about this topic. Tonight we are talking about fighting the intruder. But before we get into that, please make sure you follow and subscribe and show some love and share. So if you caught the video beforehand, it's telling you about those inner thoughts that we hear when you're trying to go for that successful thing or trying something new. And it's those thoughts that are not so nice, right? So that is what we're going to be talking about tonight. I like to say fighting the intruder. However, you may have heard it also called your inner saboteur. If you like RuPaul's Drag Race like I do, then you have heard that term before, your inner saboteur. So it's that inner voice that is negative, that is condescending, downgrading, not positive, right? So I like to say intruder because the definition of an intruder is someone who is in a place or situation where they are not wanted. And it's not necessarily speaking about you personally, but it's that voice that's inside your head. That voice is not somewhere that it's wanted. It's unwanted, right? It's intruding into your mind when you are going for something different. So why is it that when we try something new, right, you want to lose weight? You're like, you know what? I'm going to start watching what I eat. I'm going to start exercising. I'm going to do better for myself. And that's all good. You feel good about it. You're ready to go. You're getting that meal plan together. You're getting those exercises saved on YouTube that you want to try, me included, right? And then all of a sudden, you have this voice that's like, you've done that before and you failed. You're not going to be able to finish a workout. You can't give up that food or whatever. It is negative. I call that the intruder because initially when you decided that you wanted to go for these things or do this thing or try this job or go on a diet or try this new exercise, initially the first thought that you had was positive, right? You were excited for the adventure. You were excited. You were ready. You were prepared. You were prepped and all of these things. And then that little sneaky voice came in and it started telling you all of the reasons why you couldn't do it. It started showing you examples of why you couldn't do it by bringing up past times when you tried and attempted and failed. And it's also now saying, don't even try it. You're not going to be able to do it. And even talking down on yourself. So that is the person that we need to watch for, right? That is the person that has come in and is trying to change our mind and trying to get us off track. And unfortunately, that person is you. It is your inner saboteur. The minute you change, here comes that voice saying, you're not going to be able to do this. So the internal intruder is that part of those thoughts that come in and they try to disrupt, delay, destroy, or hinder your progress. even when you are seeing yourself and you have proof that you are able to be successful at this thing, start a new business, going out for that job that you wanted to go for, and you see the evidence that there is some successful moments that are supposed to be there to propel you forward, then this voice still comes in and tells you that even that success is not false. And you need to be mindful because the intruder looks like you, sounds like you, and even looks like you. I know you have been in the mirror before and you were trying to pump yourself up, and then you also start saying those negative things as well. So that's what you need to be mindful about, is that the intruder also looks like you. The intruder sounds like you. The intruder is there to have you believe that it's real. And you cannot believe everything that you hear. Those thoughts that are telling you that you can't do it, you can't believe those. And one of the ways that I like to tell my children to know that they are encountering the intruder is, how are you speaking to yourself? So I jotted down some of the things that can let you know that you are not talking to the positive side of yourself, basically that you have encountered the intruder. And some of those things are when you are saying that, okay, I'm going to try this thing, and it's like, you should give up. Intruder. That's the intruder talking. Oh, just quit. You're not going to be able to do it. That's the intruder talking. You suck. You have no talent. You are not able to do this. Nobody likes you. Nobody's going to want to follow you, listen to you, or whatever. That is the intruder talking. And I had a situation that brought this up to me, and I have dealt with it directly myself when trying to start my podcast. Even coming up with topics that I want to talk about, I'm all excited. I'm like, oh, this will be great. I really want to share this and get that experience out there and tell people this is what I've dealt with. I really feel like I can help someone. And then as soon as it comes out of my mouth, that voice comes and it's like, nobody's going to want to hear that. You shouldn't even talk about that. Oh, you're not qualified to talk about that. And all of these negative, intruding thoughts that come in that try to stop the initial positive thought of, I can do this, I should try this, let me go ahead and do this. So recognize when you start talking to yourself in a different way. If you're not saying like, I can do this, or you're not affirming yourself in a positive way, then that lets you know that you are now dealing with the intruder. And the only way that you can fight the intruder is positive affirmations and basically combating that negative self-talk. So some of the things that you can combat it with, as soon as you hear it, as soon as you recognize it, the sooner the better. It can be where you are dealing with this and then you don't recognize that you have been listening to the intruder, and you find yourself that you have stopped doing what you were trying to do. You have canceled that application. You did give up on that business. You did stop that talent and not go for that adventure or book that flight. You have found yourself at the point where you realize, okay, I was listening to that intruder voice, and now I have to get myself back. So some of the things that you can do is affirm yourself with positive words. I can do this. I have the ability. I am talented. I am, able to jump and book that flight. I'm able to fill out this application. You have to go for it. You have to do those things. The only way that you can fight the intruder is by building up the proof that you are able to succeed. I remember when I decided that I wanted to try and model, and I was right there at the door, and the music was playing, and it was almost my time to go, and it was so heavy. Don't go. Don't walk. Don't walk out there. You're going to trip. People are going to laugh at you. You're not going to be able to walk in those heels, all kind of things. And I forced myself to take those steps. And it was the best feeling ever. After I made it to the end of the runway, I felt amazing knowing that I overcame those thoughts and I was able to ignore them and go ahead and take the first step of walking in that first show. And it was amazing. And it also gave me motivation to continue to do it. Every time when I got to that time and it was time for me to go and to walk, and it was my time, and that intrusive voice tried to pop up and tell me, you're not going to be able to do it, I reminded myself of the time that I did do it. And that showed me proof that you have fought this before, you were successful before, go ahead and continue to do it. So one of the major things that I realized is that another word for intruder is thief. And I think that part of the definition of intruder is majorly impactful, because if you recognize that it is a thief of your joy, a thief of your success, a thief of you feeling confident in yourself, then that will make it more so worth fighting, because you're going to be like, you know what, I don't want anything coming in stopping my success or stopping me from moving forward or stopping me from feeling this joy that I would feel if I fight it. But you just have to know that that thief is there to still, remember, it's there to destroy, hinder your progress and your success. You can lose the weight if you fight the intruder. You can get that dream job that you want to go for if you fight the intruder. You can go on that date if you fight the intruder. You can find the man or woman of your dreams if you fight the intruder. Just the other day, my daughter was attempting to do an aerial, and she said that when she thought about doing it, she had this fear that came up in her that was saying that she was going to hurt herself. And she fought past it and was able to go ahead and do the aerial. And now she showed me, and it was amazing. I was so proud of her for the fact that she was able to do this flip, no hands. Nobody, showed her. She wasn't trained or anything like that, but just the power of her fighting those intrusive thoughts, she was able to overcome it and do this, which will show her now that she can do other things. That's a goal. The end goal is to prove to yourself that you can do these things. You can book that flight if you fight the intruder. You can start that business and be successful in that business if you fight the intruder. Now, don't get me wrong. This is not going to be, it pops up one time, I'm able to fight it that one time, and I'll never have to deal with it again. Unfortunately, if you were dealing with an intruder that's trying to break into your house or something like that, then maybe, yes, it will be one time you call the police, alarm goes off, whatever, and then you don't have to deal with that intruder again. However, when we're dealing with intrusive thoughts, you are going to have to continue to fight the intruder. And that's why it's called fighting the intruder, because it is an everlasting battle. However, it does get easier and easier the more times you do it, and the more times that you catch it. When you start hearing those thoughts, it will get easier. There is a silver lining. So you just have to start recognizing how you are speaking to yourself and catch it sooner and sooner. The stronger you get, the more you fight the intruder, the stronger you get, the easier it will be to recognize, like, okay, wait a minute, I'm not speaking to myself right. Let me change it up and let me fight the intruder with those positive affirmations. The intruder forces his way in and it's unwanted. This is not something you want. You don't want to be knocked down when you're attempting to do something, because then you will remain in a box. You'll never get to grow. You'll never change, and you will never experience those dreams you have. And you won't be able to feel success if you succumb, if you let this thing take you over. You won't be able to reap the benefits of success. And I promise, the more you fight it, the easier it will get. You'll get stronger and stronger and stronger, and you will be able to fight those voices off. The minute you change and you hear that voice coming in and you notice that it's not quite sounding like you, and it's not speaking in the way that you want it to be, these things, the speaking the way that you want it to be, when I say that, I mean, okay, I want to try for this job. I'm really interested in this position. I'm going to fill out the application. The voice you want to hear is, I can do this. I'm talented. I'm qualified. I'm going to be able to get this job. The voice you do not want to hear is, you can't do that. You're not going to be able to succeed. You don't have the talent. You're not prepared. That is the voice you don't want to hear. So when you start hearing yourself speaking differently, that's when you want to be on high alarm. That's when your alarm needs to sound. Like an intruder breaks in, your alarm goes off, you're like, call the cops, and that person runs away. So when the intrusive thoughts pop into your head, they're breaking in, you want to sound the alarm, stop it, call the positive affirmation cops to come and get those intrusive thoughts and stop those intrusive thoughts. It's really good if you can have the cops, a person that can help you, right? So it's really good to have like an accountability partner. When you're not feeling right, it's good to have someone who understands that these are things you want to do and that you can speak out loud the things that you want to do, and they can check you if you are not speaking in the proper way. For me, my accountability partner is my husband. So he knows that Talk to Me Tuesday is something that I love. And he knows that Talk to Me Tuesday is something that I want to do, that I put my time and effort and emotion into. So whenever he notices that I am speaking negatively, or that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore, or, I'm not as eager when I'm coming up with topics and things like that, he holds me accountable. I mean, and I'm forever grateful that he has stopped my intruder multiple times. And he is definitely a main reason as to why you guys see me coming on here each and every time telling you about Talk to Me Tuesday and giving you new topics and things like that. He is the number one person that is behind me that's like, you can fight this, you can do this, you can be successful with this, when the intruder tries to fight me down, because it happens to me as well. Whenever I get sad about certain things and then I want to pause, he's there. So I recommend that you have someone in your corner that can remind you of the dream that you had, that can remind you of the thing that you said you wanted to try and that you wanted to do. You want to work out, get an accountability partner that will say, hey, did you work out today? And if you start in on those thoughts of like, you know what, I'm too tired, I don't want to do it, I'm not losing weight, I don't see the progress, get that person that will say, no, wait a minute, you told me that you wanted this, and I don't think that you are speaking to yourself in the right way. Check you when you're going off the path. You need that person there in your corner that can tell you, hey, you're not doing what you said. You said you wanted to do this. Let me hear how you're speaking, because you can internalize it, and that will keep the intruder in there longer. It's almost as if you are helping the intruder when you don't recognize that you are speaking that way to yourself. So you need someone where you speak it out loud and they tell you, hey, you sounding a little off. These are not the type of, statements that you were making before. You said you want to go on that trip. Now you're saying you don't know how you're going to get the money. Now you're saying that you don't know if you'll be able to get the flight, things like that. That sounds like the intruders up in there. That sounds like the intrusive thoughts have popped up. Hold you accountable so that you're able to recognize it. Because again, I told you, the intruder sounds like you, looks like you, and speaks like you. So if you are not aware, you can catch yourself up into believing what you start hearing. So I don't want the thief to steal your progress or your joy. And when you persist and you fight the intruder, it pays off. I promise you, it pays off. There will be success that will happen when you fight the intruder. Do not let the thief steal your joy. Do not let the thief steal your progress. Do not let those thoughts take you over. I don't want you to get down on yourself if you have found yourself in a rut, so to speak, and you have let the intruder in and they have stolen your goods. I don't want you to get yourself in a rut, because just like if someone were to break into your house and they do steal something, you have insurance, right? And that is a fact that our minds are very, very powerful. And once you claim that you want to do something, yes, there are those intrusive thoughts. However, you are strong and you work out your powerful mind, and you will be able to fight the intruder and get back on the things that you claim you want to do. If you want to lose weight, lose weight. If you want to work out, work out. Start that diet plan, start that workout, apply for that job, start that business, okay? Because you can fight the intruder and you can get those things that you want You have the power to do it. It's in you. So get your accountability partner. Make sure you have that person speak out loud the things that you are feeling and the things that you are thinking. Because once you speak it out loud, the other person can let you know. And you can also hear, wait a minute, this is not what I was thinking. Those moments when I was feeling doubtful about Talk to Me Tuesday, and the moments when I was feeling doubtful about modeling, like, can I even model? Even when it comes down to parenting, can I do this? And you speak it out loud. And how are you speaking to yourself? And that person that is in your corner can also help you to understand that, like, you are not speaking to yourself in the right way. So change some of the things that you were saying. Some of the positive things that help me a lot is that I can do this. I can do this, right? Even if that's just the one that you start off with, I would recommend looking up some positive affirmations that work for you, that resonate with how you want to feel and that sound good to you when you speak them. And the ones that I do like is that I can do this. I say that a lot to myself. I can do this. Because once you speak it, then you start to believe it, and that voice will be in your head. So when the intruder comes in, you'll be saying, I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. And it drowns out those intrusive voices. So I hope that this was helpful. I did put a credit to the video that was in the beginning of the live. If you would like to watch the complete video, you can go there on their YouTube channel. They have a very good video on those inner voices and how to deal with the negative self-talk that you may hear. And look out for it. I promise you, I want you to look out for it. When you decide that you want to do something different, you want to be successful, you want to try something new, you want to go for something that maybe you have not went for before, I promise you, you will hear the two different things going on. You will hear the positive energy, energetic, this is what I want to do, I'm excited. And then those other thoughts will come in. And I want you to be aware so that you can fight the intruder, right? Fight the intruder. I believe you can fight the intruder. We're going to go out like Tyson and start knocking the intruder out, right? Do not let the intruder steal your joy, your success, or your progress. I hope tonight was helpful. Thank you guys for tuning in and watching with me, and I will see you next time.